Tech giants and the data centers they are building have high-level support from the Trump administration and many governors. They say the centers are essential to winning the artificial intelligence race against China. Keith Peters, Washington.
President Trump heads to Las Vegas today to remind people of the tax cuts that he signed into law last year, lightening the tax load on workers who earn tips and overtime, and there are a lot of them in Vegas. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Good morning, and welcome to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. It is a special day. Special because here in studio, the original All-Star panelist, Crom Carmichael. Good morning, Crom.
Greetings, kind sir.
Am I still kind?
You're still kind. And you're still sir.
Crom, we have quite a day today. It's time for the Morning Rundown, which is brought to you every weekday at this time by our friends at the Glock Store. Glockstore.com, located just a few miles from the airport, right here in Nashville, Tennessee. So here we go. Here is the Morning Rundown for Thursday, April 16th, 2026. Number one, a naval blockade of Iran is succeeding. The ceasefire ends Tuesday. All the cards are with us. And they're choking the money off of the mullahs, and they're not happy about it. But there's only one thing they can do is give up all their nuclear ambitions. We'll see how that works out. Number two, more revelations about Obama-Biden skullduggery, Crom. Mar-a-Lago raid was now, turns out, according to emails, was ordered by Joe Biden, despite Merrick Garland's claim to the contrary. Also, number three, more whistleblower revelations about the phony nature of the Ukrainian impeachment hoax foisted upon the American people. Number four, this is terrible, but indicative of the world today. You know the great attorney John Eastman, who was a professor of law and chairman or the dean of the Chapman School of Law. Yeah, an eminent scholar. Because he wrote a memo to the president about what he could and could not do after the 2020 election, he has been disbarred by the Supreme Court of the state of California. And Crom, we were the only publication in the country to cover his trial before the court in California, and it was a kangaroo court, and now that's been confirmed by the kangaroo court known as the California Supreme Court. They will appeal it to the U.S. Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court has been very rare to overturn a state Supreme Court in a matter like this. Number five, Crom, more Muslim prayer in Nashville public schools. Did you see a story on that about Overton High School?
I did.
There's another one. There's a public charter school called Valor, which has on its board of directors Samar Ali, and also has on the board of directors Rasco Dean. He's the partner at Sherrard Rowe who's defending Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and the son of the former mayor of Nashville, Carl Dean, and the current chairwoman of the Nashville Electric Service. So that's fascinating. They have basically changed their entire class schedule to accommodate Muslim prayer. That's blatantly unconstitutional, by the way, Crom. Number six, Crom, the Tennessee General Assembly is winding down. It's been fast and furious the past couple days. Lots of stuff going on. And Aaron Gulbinson will be here in hour three to talk about that. Number seven, Phil Klein joins us in hour two, and he'll be talking about the slapdown of Judge James Boasberg. I love that one. And then number eight, Tom Pappert joins us at the bottom of hour two. Number nine, this is a terrible breaking story. The former lieutenant governor of Virginia, Justin Fairfax, who served under Governor Northam. Remember, Northam was succeeded by, as governor, by Glenn Youngkin. And he was succeeded, Justin Fairfax was succeeded by Winsome Earl Sears as governor, as lieutenant governor. He was a rising star of the Democrat Party. He went to Duke University. He got a law degree from Columbia University. Early this morning, he killed his wife and committed suicide. Justin Fairfax.
Oh, my gosh.
Former Democrat lieutenant governor.
Oh, my.
Yeah, there's a lot to that, but more later. So there you go, Crom. That is the Morning Rundown, brought to you by our very good friends at the Glock Store. And, of course, Lenny McGill. What a prescient man Lenny McGill is, the CEO and founder. You know, he founded the company in California, but they had a sense that California was going very, very bad. They decided California was not the place to be, so they loaded up their Glocks and moved to Tennessee 5 years ago. Visiting the Glock Store is a treat any day of the year, Crom, but during their annual National Open House, it's an event to remember. I've been lucky enough to have attended every one of the National Open Houses, and they are an absolute blast. First, they always have great speakers, including congressmen, senators, and yours truly. I have a lot to talk about this time. The all-day-long free, open-to-the-public raffle is likely the best in the country. Last year, Crom, they gave away over $25,000 worth of great gun gear, including 3 Glocks, one of which was a GS Custom Glock worth over $2,000. This year, the open house is on Saturday, May the 30th. Now, if you're listening here in Nashville, just mark your calendar. It's easy to drive. But if you're listening at the other 20 or so radio stations that are part of the John Fredericks Radio Network, Nashville's not that far away. You can get your car and drive here. Every year, Crom, I look at all the hundreds of cars parked outside, and many of them are out of state. I think we're going to make a list this time, and we'll report.
That would be good. That's really...
We're going to report here, and this is breaking news, Crom.
Yeah.
We are going to make a list and count and identify which states outside of Tennessee have the most cars parking in front of the Glock Store for the 6th annual Glock Store open house. Crom is going to be Saturday, May 30th. I'll be there, and if you're listening, you should be there too. Well, there you go, Crom. Lots of stuff going on in the country today. I want to talk about this. Brett Baer last night revealed fascinating news. There are new emails. Remember Merrick Garland, one of the worst attorney generals in America's history?
Yes.
Who worked for the worst president in American history, Joe Biden.
And that's a tall order to be considered the worst president ever. And Biden,
but he by far.
But he is. But
yeah.
By far.
By far. And the worst attorney general ever, because he broke the law in so many ways, allegedly, except now there's some evidence to suggest that's the case. Listen to this clip 2, Brett Baer, on Biden ordering Merrick Garland to raid Mar-a-Lago.
Breaking tonight, a Fox News exclusive. We have new information that appears to directly contradict the Biden administration's insistence it had nothing to do with the Justice Department investigations into then former President Trump's alleged retention of classified material and the subsequent raid on his Mar-a-Lago home. Correspondent David Spunt has details tonight. Good evening, David.
Brett, good evening to you. These emails obtained by Fox News paint a different picture of the relationship between the Biden White House and the Biden Justice Department. These two offices made it clear at the time, at least publicly, they were not connected and stayed away from any political interference. However, new emails obtained by Fox News from May 2022, 3 months before Mar-a-Lago was raided by the FBI, illustrates coordination between the White House counsel's office and the DOJ regarding an interview of Walt Nauta. Now, remember, Walt Nauta is a current White House aide to President Trump, who was then former President Trump's aide in Florida. Nauta was later charged alongside Trump by special counsel Jack Smith. The May 10th, 2022 email reads in part, coordination with DOJ and White House counsel are in work to start the process to confirm and interview current administration employee Walt Nauta.
Okay, so, Crom, your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, I'm not surprised.
Nor am I.
And the second thing is that the Department of Justice is part of the executive branch, and so the President of the United States can't claim that they're independent from the Department of Justice, because by law
they're part of it.
They're part of it.
Let me add one thing. I think, I'm going to say something about somebody I criticize all the time, something very nice. I think part of Mitch McConnell's legacy for the country is that he stopped Merrick Garland from becoming a Supreme Court justice.
Well, that will go down as his greatest.
His greatest. Thank you, Mitch
achievement.
McConnell, for that.
Yeah.
Other things, not so much, but that is very significant.
Yes.
Crom, back after this.
How much did you win at Rosie's Gaming Emporium?
Hi, I'm Jerry from Richmond. I won a $23,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
I'm Tammy. I'm from Newport News, and I just won a $5,400 jackpot from Rosie's.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm from West Virginia, and I won $99,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
Are you ready? Learn more about Rosie's rewards and jackpots at rosiesgaming.com. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling? Call 1-888-532-3500.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
President Trump is already transforming Washington, D.C., making it the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful city in the world. But we need fighters on the ground to keep it going. I'm John Fredericks, and I'm running for chairman of D.C. GOP. Make sure Trump's vision for this city becomes a reality. Safe streets, clean neighborhoods, and yes, rat-free. Go to MakeDCGreat.com. That's MakeDCGreat.com right now and send a donation. Let's finish what President Trump started. Donation limit $200. I'm John Fredericks, and I paid for this ad.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Crom, what's wrong with Pope Leo XIV? He's an American. He's the first American pope. And yet, I mean, this is obvious, and yet He comes from the very leftist Chicago Catholic tradition.
Yeah.
One that was embedded with Saul Alinsky's radical ideology. One where some of the priests there became organizers who trained Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, a couple days before he started this political attack on Donald Trump, he was visited by Barack Obama's advisor, right?
Political strategy.
Yeah, David Axelrod.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence that he has been attacking Trump, and this attack has continued over the past couple weeks. He never liked Trump to begin with, but now, so he's in Algeria. He visited a mosque in Algeria.
Okay.
He's criticizing Donald Trump for basically attacking the Islamist regime of Iran, the one that killed 40,000 of its own people and sponsored terrorism around the world. And then he goes down to another country in Africa, I think Cameroon yesterday, and attacks Trump again. What's going on here?
Well, you've outlined the sequence of events very nicely. The Catholic Church has now, as a person who is not Catholic, okay, and by the way, and I've had discussions with folks who are Catholic. There's a lot about the Catholic Church that's good, and there's a lot about the Catholic Church that I think is bad.
And let me just set the stage here a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm talking about their doctrine.
No,
not the people, but the doctrine.
The doctrine, or as it's
and its history,
as it's come through from the Pope. And by the way, on these matters, non-doctrinal matters, there is no papal infallibility. That's very rare that happens. But the point is, my background, as you know, I come from Irish Catholic background. And we went to Roman Catholic Church as a kid.
Oh, okay.
And I was, had my first communion at St. John the Baptist, or St. John the Evangelist, rather, Roman Catholic Church.
Okay.
In Plattsburgh, New York. I was confirmed at St. Joseph Church in Dannemora, New York. I was an altar boy at St. Teresa's Church in Munnsville, New York.
Okay.
Then I went to high school.
A Catholic high school?
No, I went to a public high school in Randolph, New York.
Okay.
And let me just say this. The instructions with some very nice nuns were the instructors. I know this will shock you. I was a smart aleck.
Oh, my.
I know. And I was so intellectually disruptive to the nice nuns that they went to my father, who was the principal of the school there, and said, please, please, please don't let your son come to religious education. And so that's sort of my history with the Catholic
Church. So you had when you went to a public school with nuns as teachers?
So
that's interesting.
Well, no. The way it worked is, in this era of upstate New York, every other Friday, you got 1 hour where you could leave the church, your classes early, and then you would go to the local church and you would receive religious instruction. That's how it worked.
Oh, okay.
At that time.
Okay, all right.
And the school had nothing to do with it. It was the nuns.
Well,
anyway, so to all those nuns, to whom I was a smart aleck, I don't think any of them are with us here. At this advanced age, I should extend my apologies for being such a little smart alecky kid.
Well, the Catholic Church has itself has a long history, and it's not always a good history.
But back to the point of long. Upon this rock shall I build this church. Right? Peter, the first pope, if you will, anointed by Jesus Christ. So that's 2,000 years of history.
Yeah, but then church doctrine, Catholic Church doctrine, and Protestant doctrine have diverged in some ways.
Right.
That are and those ways are meaningful in the earthly sense, not necessarily meaningful in the afterlife. But one thing about the Catholic Church has a lot of rules and a lot of things that bind you, that bind the parishioners to the Catholic Church. They have a lot of rules, and they have a lot of things like, for example, if you commit sins and you do not get to confess your sins before you die, then
you don't make it to the good place.
You don't make it, yeah. And so the Catholic Church, and so they teach that as a doctrine. But if you think about that for a second, how is it? What is the argument that a human being, being a Catholic priest, that a human being can determine whether or not you confess to just a mere mortal, whether or not even if you believe in Jesus Christ.
So now you're kind of getting into a doctrinal era. Confession is one of the sacraments.
That's
of the Catholic Church.
Yeah, and
I believe me, before you take your first communion, you must go in and confess your sins.
Right.
And then the priest absolves you of those sins. You go into the confessional. We've seen it in movies, etc. But
Right.
it's a little, as a kid, it's a little scary, right?
Okay.
And then typically it's go say 5 Hail Marys.
Yeah,
'Cause
or
as a
something
kid,
like that. And so what I'm saying is that Christ is the one who absolves you of sins, not a human being who is dressed up and says that they are
I'm just going to have to point out that
Catholic
that is
priest.
The Catholic doctrine.
I know it
allows
is.
that.
Yeah, but I'm saying this to me is what's troubling about the way the Catholic popes typically behave, and Leo in particular. So I'm just saying, I'm just giving the history of the Catholic Church. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of troubling stuff to me about the history of the Catholic Church.
Sure.
And there's also a lot of history of very, very troubling popes and the way they behaved, and especially the one. In fact, in preparation, I went back. I said, did the Pope during World War II, did the Pope collaborate in any way with Hitler? And I actually pulled up a very interesting story on PBS of all places. And there's been new information that's been released fairly recently in the last decade or so, and it showed that the Pope at that time was more interested in protecting the Vatican, because the Pope thought that Hitler was going to win the war. And so there was a back channel established between the Pope and Hitler. And according to these documents that was expressed on PBS, is that Pope was more interested in trying to maintain the safety of the Vatican than he was the Jews. And so what I'm saying is that when popes decide to get involved in politics, it's not wise on their part. Now, Trump,
agreed.
and remember, this Pope is the one that started this argument.
Speaker Mike Johnson agrees with you. Let's play this clip right now.
I'm not one to criticize clerics and religious leaders. We defend free speech, and we certainly defend the right to the free exercise of religion. And, a pontiff or any religious leader can say anything they want. But obviously, if you wade into political waters, I think you should expect some political response, and I think the popes received some of that. I was taken a little bit aback, just honestly, frankly, by something that was said. I think he said it several days back that something about those who engage in war, that Jesus doesn't hear their prayers or something. It is a very well settled matter of Christian theology. There's something called the just war doctrine. There's a time to every purpose under heaven. I think what the president's comments, what the vice president's comments reflect is their understanding deep in the skiff and the classified briefings of the stakes that are so high and the situation that we're facing and the fact that
I think Johnson really
but let me just go a bit farther here.
Yeah.
One of the presidents that the Democrats love to lift up as one of the greatest presidents of all time was John Kennedy. And Kennedy was the first Catholic president.
He was.
And so what I would like to do is I'd like to read a little bit about what Kennedy said that the way he would govern as a president who also was Catholic. And I think it's very important that we recognize that this is somebody that Democrats have lifted up for years and have stood by what I hear noise.
Well, that's
so
because
we're going to
this is what we call, Crum, a tease.
A tease.
When we come back, we will hear The words of the first Catholic president, John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
There we go.
Back after this.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free.
Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging supplements clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
My fellow Americans, I have to tell you about my good friends at D.T. McCall & Sons. They have furniture and appliances and a lot more. They've been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years, and they're not going to rip you off. No hidden charges, no delivery charges, no charges for all of the crazy things. These are sick people at the lumber yards. These are very sick people. They charge you for cords and hoses and haul off. They charge you for all of these things. They call them hidden charges. It's the type of surprise that you don't want to see. It's like an October surprise, but it's worse. D.T. McCall & Sons, they're not going to do that. They're great people. They're going to give you a great deal. With locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, D.T. McCall & Sons will give you the deal of your life. Check them out today or go to dtmccalls.com.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
We're called the volunteer state for a reason. Tennesseans show up for their neighbors, their communities, their kids. So when President Trump heard the calls of parents,
we're fighting for school choice, the civil rights statement of the decade.
Tennessee responded.
Governor Lee has signed education freedom scholarships,
empowering parents to use their own tax dollars to pay for a school that best fits their child's needs. Today, Education Freedom Scholarships are serving 20,000 students, but thousands more are still locked out. Governor Lee is pushing to open Education Freedom Scholarships to all Tennessee families, putting every parent in the driver's seat of their children's education. But we must put an end to the wait, because in the volunteer state, we don't leave anyone on the sidelines. The time to open doors for Tennessee families is here and now. It's time to empower every kid. Yes, every kid. Paid for by Yes Every Kid.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, the one, the only, Carmichael Crum. We're talking about the Pope venturing into left-wing political attacks on Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on this? You're going to talk about John F. Kennedy.
I wanted to talk about how John F. Kennedy described how he would govern as president as and at the same time that he is a Catholic. And I think that it's important here to kind of quote him. So so I'm going to just read from an article in the Western Journal. When Kennedy was running for president in 1960, he accepted the invitation of the Greater Houston Ministerial Association to address the issue of his Roman Catholic faith. He began his remarks by arguing that his faith certainly should not be the central issue of the campaign, but rather he would like to focus on the international and domestic challenges of the day. So here's what he said, quote, "But because I am a Catholic, and no Catholic has ever been elected president, the real issue in this campaign have been obscured, perhaps deliberately, in some quarters less responsible than this. So it is apparently necessary for me to state once again, not what kind of church I believe in, but for that should be important only to me, but what kind of American, hold on just a second here, what kind of American I believe in America that is officially neither Catholic, Protestant, or Jewish, where no public official either respects or accepts instructions on public policy from the Pope, from the National Council of Churches, or any other ecclesiastical source, where no religious body seeks to impose its will directly or indirectly upon the general populace or the public acts of officials, and where religious liberty is so indivisible that an act against one church is treated as an act against all." Kennedy also emphasized to the Protestant members in attendance, "I am not the Catholic candidate for president. I am the Democrat Party's candidate for president who happens to be Catholic. I do not speak for my church on public matters, and the church does not speak to me." So what he said was he pledged, he said if the Pope or the church tries to tell him what to do, he will ignore them. Now, this is a Catholic who was running for president and who became president and then did what he said to do. And so Trump is doing the same thing that Kennedy did. He's not going to allow the Pope, and by the way, popes have a terrible history. The only pope in my lifetime that actually stood up for freedom and for freedom for all people was Pope John. John Paul II.
Yeah.
He's the only one.
Right.
And the rest of the popes have been kind of left-leaning to far left-leaning. And they, by the way, in the process, they've done a lot to destroy their own institution. My understanding is that one of the reasons that they selected a pope who was American this time was to help raise money. And my guess is that David Axelrod went over and met with the Pope. I mean, why on earth would the Pope meet with a political strategist?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Why?
Well, there is a strong connection between left-wing social activism based in Chicago and the Democrat Party and the Catholic Church in Chicago, particularly.
Yeah.
There's something called the Gamaliel Network. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
These are the guys that trained Barack Obama to be a community organizer.
Okay.
And they get a lot of their funding from the Catholic Campaign for Human Development.
Okay.
Which is a far left element within the Catholic Church.
Okay.
Now, it's a significant element. It gets raised often at church you go and you got to make a contribution to them. And they promote really socialist policies in a very, very big way. And they're very aggressive about it.
Well, if you think about how the Catholic Church is organized, that's not surprising. Because the Catholic Church is organized in a very hierarchical way, where the higher up you are in the Catholic Church, the more power you have over those below you. It's not a free market way of thinking, not the way church doctrine operates, and not the way the church itself operates. The other thing, Michael, is the Catholic Church, my understanding is financially, is in a mess. And
well, it's got a lot of sexual misconduct lawsuits against it.
Yeah, well, lawsuits that they've lost.
Yeah.
So in other words, it's in a mess, and I think that in large measure the reason that the Pope was this Pope was selected was because they thought that he could help raise money in America, which is where most of the money for the church comes from, is from the United States. Catholics in the United States.
Here's a story 1 week ago from CBS News. Headline: Pope Leo XIV meets with former Obama advisor David Axelrod. Pope Leo XIV on Thursday met with David Axelrod a week ago today, a longtime Democrat strategist and former senior advisor to former President Barack Obama. The meeting has many wondering if the Pope might soon have a formal meeting with Obama himself. Pope Leo was born in Chicago, raised in south suburban Dolton, Illinois. While Axelrod was born in New York, like Obama, he attended the University of Chicago. Well, actually, Obama was born in Hawaii. He attended Occidental College. He went to Harvard Law School, and he finished his undergrad at Columbia. He was a, quote, lecturer at the University of Chicago, correcting CBS News here. And after working as a reporter at the Chicago Tribune in the 1980s, he later helped Obama get elected president in 2008. While the Vatican did not provide any details on Axelrod's meeting with Leo on Thursday, 6 weeks ago, Obama made it clear he'd like to meet his hometown pope. How about that? And Obama was, he was a community organizer in Chicago.
Yeah.
And that left-wing community organizing activism within the Gamaliel network trained him.
Yeah.
And so he's inculcated with that left-wing social activism.
Right.
Now, having said that, the Pope is aggressively going after Donald Trump, criticizing his foreign policy in a very hypocritical way, it seems to me.
Oh, in every way. The Pope attacked Trump over his immigration policies, but the Pope will not allow a single immigrant
into the Vatican.
Not one.
So let's talk about what is going on here politically. What's going on here politically is Axelrod and Obama are trying to cut the Catholic vote for Donald Trump in the midterms. That's what I think's happening.
Okay. Well, I do not disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
But what's so interesting about this is, wasn't it the Biden administration that attacked the attacked certain Catholics, pro-life Catholics, during the Biden administration?
Yeah.
And I mean, actually sicked the FBI on them.
Well, actually,
under
the FACE Act, 11 people in Tennessee were convicted and imprisoned and pardoned then by Donald Trump.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that Obama, Obama and Biden, probably Biden at the behest of Obama, used the FBI and the Justice Department to attack members of the Catholic Church for their religious beliefs. And so and has the Pope stood up for those Catholics? No. And this is the problem that Leo is going to have, is that he now is become a truly partisan Pope, and I believe the war in Iran is going to end well.
Yes,
I think that there will be I also predict that there'll be a treaty between Israel and Lebanon, the government of Lebanon, that reduces or ends the influence of Hezbollah, a terrorist organization in Lebanon. And it would not even surprise me if Lebanon didn't sign on to the Abraham Accords. And if all of those things happen and the war in Iran ends with, now, there are 4 things that Trump has demanded, and Trump says, I want all 4. So let's review what the 4 are, because Trump said this right from the beginning. No nuclear weapons and no ability to even make them. No offensive missiles. No supporting proxy terrorist groups around the world. And the Straits of Hormuz will be open for all.
Mm-hmm.
Those 4 things are the things that Trump has said. You agree to those 4 things and this war will end. But you're going to agree to them in writing, and then we're going to go in and we're going to take, or you're going to deliver to us all of the nuclear material and nuclear equipment that you've been using to develop nuclear weapons. And I think that Trump will end up getting his way on all 4 of those things. And I think Iran is in a box right now.
Yeah.
Because what Trump's done is he says that he and Iran have agreed on a ceasefire
until Tuesday.
Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm going to predict.
What are you going to predict?
I'm predicting that Trump will unilaterally extend the ceasefire, but he will maintain the blockade.
We'll see.
Because if he does, and he's going to also say, as long as they do not fire at my ships, as long as they don't fire at U.S. ships, we will maintain the ceasefire, because he's strangling Iran economically. And they can't go on with that. They're allowing the other ships, all the other oil producers in the Middle East, their ships are going through the Straits of Hormuz. All of those are. So it's just the Iranian oil, and the Iranian oil as a percentage of the world oil supply is a very, very small amount, but it's essential. It's essential to the, and I'm not even going to say the mullahs, because I think the mullahs are all dead. I think that there was that second meeting. Remember the second meeting where a bunch of other leaders were killed? I think that was a meeting that included a lot of the mullahs, because now the people who are in charge, who are actually in charge of Iran, they're not mullahs.
Well, if there is one mullah, he's like 2 miles underground.
Yeah.
Getting messages dropped down a big hole. Crum, we'll be back with your assessment of the Eric Swalwell debacle after this.
Is a record player the best way to listen to music? Of course not. So why are you still taking vitamins in pill form that haven't been upgraded since the 1930s? Even if you don't have trouble swallowing, most vitamins in pill form can't be absorbed very well. It's time to upgrade to the pill-free future of vitamins. Advanced nutrition company, Healthy Cell, created a patent-pending ingestible gel that is clinically proven to have 265% the absorption rate of tablets. These physician-formulated supplements come in a small gel pack. You tear off the top and shoot it down. You can also mix it in water. They taste great, they're convenient on the go, and they're more natural too, without chemical binders, fillers, and coatings. Go to Healthy Cell and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of any product. That's healthycell.com. HEALTHYCELL.com.
What if those who were once called conspiracy theorists turn out to be right again? A new study by Korean doctors claimed that COVID vaccines raise the risk of 6 cancers, including lung, breast, and prostate. Researchers analyzed health records from more than 8.4 million adults between 2021 and 2023, and their findings were published in Biomarker Research, a respected scientific journal. Critics dismiss it, but the data raises concern that spike protein exposure may be tied to long-term health risks. And Dr. Peter McCullough has been aware of this since 2020, which is why he collaborated with the wellness company to create Ultimate Spike Detox, designed to help your body clear spike proteins, reduce inflammation, and support heart health. With natural ingredients like nattokinase, dandelion root, and bromelain, it is your daily proactive defense from a man-made virus. Don't wait until symptoms strike or something unexpected happens. Experience the only formula approved and used by Dr. McCullough, one of the top doctors who risked it all. Go to twc.health/Godzilla. That's twc.health/Godzilla and use promo code Godzilla to get 10% off plus free shipping.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, the original All-Star panelist, Crom Carmichael. You know, that is quite an honorific to be the original All-Star panelist.
That means you have to be old.
Crom. So Eric Swalwell,
yes,
allegedly a serial sexual abuser, allegedly.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly a rapist.
Allegedly. He is was the right. He ran for president. He served in Congress. He's from California, served in Congress since 2013, ran for president. He was an asterisk there, and was the leading candidate for the Democrats for the governor's race in California. But it all came tumbling down when his sordid, alleged private life became public. Now, at least 5 women have come forward and said he sexually assaulted them. There was a woman in Los Angeles who made that claim. There's an investigation in Los Angeles.
Well, the woman in Los Angeles alleged that he raped her.
Yes.
So that's not
alleged.
just assaulted her. Well, I'm saying that's what she claims.
And now there is an investigation in New York City, Manhattan.
Why?
Similar charges. Where
so it happened in the similar...
A separate one.
A separate one.
Happened in New York City.
Oh, they're claiming... The victim, the alleged victim is claiming it happened in New York City.
That's what they're claiming.
Okay. All right.
So now, and apparently Eric Swalwell, who's a graduate of the University of Maryland School of Law and is an attorney, and has... his personal finances have been described as not particularly stable.
Okay.
Now he has no job, has no prospects at the moment, and is facing numerous investigations of criminal activity.
Isn't the federal government now investigating also?
Well, if they aren't, they will be shortly, probably.
All right, so here's kind of my take on all this. First of all, the Democrats made it very clear before all this came out. The Democrats made it very clear that there are too many Democrats running for governor, and that the Democrat Party is very concerned that if you have 2 Republicans running who are both quite popular, and 8 Democrats running who are dividing the rest of the vote, that it's possible in the way their primary works, because it's a jungle primary, meaning the top 2. In the primary make it to the general election. They were concerned that it would be 2 Republicans in the general election. And so the Democrat Party could not stand for that. And they made it very public that they were working to force some Democrats out of the race. And then lo and behold, shortly thereafter, the San Francisco Chronicle, a very left-wing paper, is the one that published the first article about Swalwell. And then CNN immediately followed that up with, and this is very similar.
It was an organized hit.
This
with
was
evidence that
with
backed
evidence. So this is not a fake hit, but because this means that many Democrats and many leftists knew about Swalwell's history. They knew about this and they didn't care as long as he was useful to the Democrat Party and the Democrat Party's interests. But once it became clear that the only way to eliminate somebody from the race that was currently getting a significant, a material percentage of the vote, but not enough to be one of the top two, the hit came out.
Right.
And so Swalwell has been taken down. Now, here's the thing that's going to be interesting to me. If the FBI starts investigating, which I believe they ultimately will, because they've
begun reviewing files of Swalwell and Fang Fang.
Well, that's been going on for years.
Well, they put it aside. Now they're bringing it back.
I know, but I mean, so what I'm saying is there's old files for that, and now they're bringing that back. But there's also the allegation that one of the women that Swalwell abused was a minor. There's also that allegation,
mm-hmm.
And so these are the things that.
Well, he was a big fan of believing all women, wasn't he?
Oh, he's got his own set of. There's all kinds of hypocrisy here, but here's what's going to be interesting: if the FBI gets involved, and if the authorities get his email records, and his phone text records. It is not. You remember how with Epstein, and Swalwell was one of the biggest proponents
mm-hmm.
of getting 100% of the Epstein files out there for everybody to be able to see, so that they could then. They were convinced that somewhere in those files, they could connect Trump to Epstein, and that didn't go anywhere. But the fact that they demanded that the Epstein files be out there so that because the public needed the right to know, the public had the right to know, even though Epstein was a private person, he wasn't a politician. There was lots of politicians in his orbit. Trump, unfortunately for the Democrats, was not one of them, and even Melania came out and gave a speech that if anyone in the media tries to connect her again erroneously to Epstein, she's going to file a lawsuit. So that's putting them on notice that if you're going to allege something, you better be able to back it up.
Mm-hmm.
And she says you're not going to be able to, so I'll sue you. But so now you're going to have all of these files. You're going to have the Swalwell emails. You're going to have the Swalwell texts. Think of Ruben Gallego.
Yeah.
And
his best buddy,
who's senator from Arizona. I will promise you, or I would bet, and I'd give 10-to-1 odds that there are texts between Swalwell and Ruben Gallego talking about their adventures with women, especially young women.
Well, we'll wait and see. But
I would bet.
I would not take that bet.
Right. Yeah.
Crom Carmichael, as always, thanks so much for joining us today.
You betcha.
We'll see you next Thursday. Up next, if all goes well, Phil Klein. Judge Boasberg has been slapped down by the appellate court, and the cheering you hear in the background is yours truly. Back after this.
Each of us is born with 30 trillion cells that make us. These cells determine how we feel, perform, sleep, focus, and how long we live. And to live our best life, all we have to do is feed our cells properly. But most supplements don't reach our cells, keeping us from reaching our full potential. Make every cell count with Healthy Cell. Founded with a mission to empower people to take control of their own health at the most fundamental level, the cell. Dr. Vincent Gempapa, world-renowned cell researcher and medical doctor, created supplements that work at the cellular level to support immune health, better sleep, sharper focus, and healthy aging. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of any product. That's healthycell.com, HEALTHYCELL, and use code GODZILLA for 20% off.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
This show knows things before anybody else is transmitting it. I said 5 minutes after we make a deal, the price of crude oils can go down $20 a barrel. Well, it went down $20 a barrel today. It did. 15 days from now, and if it looks like we have a good deal, it'll go down another $25 a barrel.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
And that's a good sign for us, obviously, and for the free world.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at JF Radio Show.
WJFN, W224EB, 93.7 FM Chester, W299DB, 107.7 Bon Air, 100.5 FM Goochland, and WJFB Portsmouth, AM.
News this hour from Town Hall. Amit Thomason. Pressuring Iran to agree to a peace deal, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane says that while the current ceasefire has ended hostilities for now, that will change if Iran does not choose the path of peace. Kane says he and War Secretary Hegseth are in full agreement.
And as the Secretary said, I'd like to emphasize during this pause that the United States Joint Force remains postured and ready to resume major combat operations at literally a moment's notice.
War Secretary Hegseth says the U.S. naval blockade on Iranian ports has been a complete success, adding that President Trump is committed to keeping it up for as long as it takes. Russia hammered civilian areas of Ukraine overnight, launching hundreds of missiles and dozens of drones. At least 16 people killed, scores more wounded.
In Kyiv, AP footage showed cars on fire and damaged and burnt out buildings after Russia struck the capital with drones and ballistic missiles. 20-year-old Georgy Doroshenko walked through his destroyed apartment, his feet crunching on glass and metal shrapnel as he came to collect his pet rabbit Kosh. At least 4 people were killed in Kyiv, including a 12-year-old, with more than 50 others injured. Ukrainian officials said Russia launched nearly 700 drones and dozens of ballistic and cruise missiles, primarily targeting civilians. I'm Karen Shemas.
President Trump heads west today, visiting Las Vegas to highlight his taxpayer-friendly policies, including easing the tax burden on those who benefit from tips and overtime. New York jury has ruled that Ticketmaster and Live Nation held an anti-competitive monopoly over big concert venues. Live Nation says there will be an appeal. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 33 points, the Nasdaq off a fraction. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Maybe this is you too. There's enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It is amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and MediShare is proven you can save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Over 1 million Americans are now part of healthcare sharing, and MediShare is the gold standard. It's trusted, it works, it's been helping people save money and have peace of mind now for 30 plus years. It's not some big impersonal thing either. It's a community of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 844-94-BIBLE. That's 844-94-BIBLE. 844-94-BIBLE.
There are fears that a refinery fire will aggravate Australia's energy crunch.
The refinery to the southwest of Melbourne produces 10% of Australia's petrol and half of what they use here in Victoria. The plant is still partially operational. Jet fuel and diesel continue to be produced, but at a lower rate. It's petrol, though, the government warns that will be most impacted. Prices at the pump have soared since the Iran war, and there's a chance they could go higher. Australia relies heavily on imported refined fuels. Some say it's not self-sufficient enough. But at least, say the experts, the impact of this fire on fuel availability might be limited.
The BBC's Simon Atkinson. An Australian judge has rejected an appeal by former U.S. Marine Corps pilot Daniel Duggan to avoid extradition to the U.S. for allegations that he illegally trained Chinese military aviators more than a decade ago. Duggan has denied the allegations. News and analysis, townhall.com. A push by GOP leaders to promote Turning Point USA chapters in public high schools is stirring a free speech debate.
While Republican governors say the partnerships counter the oppression of conservative voices in education, critics argue Christian leaders often silence voices when it comes to topics like sex education and LGBT issues. Several states, though, have announced partnerships with Turning Point USA to establish chapters in every high school. ACLU says endorsing these clubs likely violates federal law. A spokesman, though, says Turning Point USA continues to grow rapidly. Jason Walker reporting.
Democrats are boasting of remarkable fundraising hauls in some of this year's most competitive Senate contests. For the first 3 months of the year, Texas Democrat Senate candidate James Tallarico's campaign says he raised $27 million. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. If you want to call in, our phone number is 615-814-2848, 615-814-2848. Give us, number one, your name, number two, your state of residence. And in this segment, we're only going to talk about one thing. It's a Virginia story that just broke just a little bit ago, this morning. And it's a very troubling story. It's about the former lieutenant governor of Virginia, Justin Fairfax, a Democrat. He served with Governor Northam in the administration prior to Glenn Youngkin. So he would have left office about 5 years ago as lieutenant governor. He shot his wife. He murdered his estranged wife and killed himself, apparently this morning. This is it first broke at the Daily Mail. There are others reporting on it, but let me go with the Daily Mail story and tell you more about Justin Fairfax. So Justin Fairfax, a Democrat, former lieutenant governor of Virginia, shot his dentist spouse, Serena, dead in the unfinished basement of their Annandale home in the early hours of Thursday. That's this morning. Fairfax County, Virginia police reported. The couple's son, Cameron, age 16, and their 14-year-old daughter, Karis, were home at the time, but are unharmed. They're being tended to by relatives and victim services. Serena, age 49, filed for divorce from Justin Fairfax. Now, it's one of these weird ironies. His last name is Fairfax, and he lived in Fairfax County, the suburban county in Virginia. His wife filed for divorce last year, and the proceedings were underway at the time of their deaths, with court appearances pending next week. Justin Fairfax was recently served paperwork indicating when he was next due to appear in the court, which investigators say, quote, may have been a spark to the deadly act of violence. The couple had been living together despite being separated and were understood to have separate bedrooms, Fairfax County Police Chief Kevin Davis said. I guess I'm told that in a divorce situation where there's a house at stake, neither spouse, the attorneys tell the spouse, don't give up your claim on the house, and so they end up living in the same house. Sometimes bad things happen as a consequence of that. Yeah. Now, what do we know about Justin Fairfax? He was 47 years old. He was considered a rising star in the Democrat Party. And his career is interesting. He went to Duke University, got a bachelor's there, and then got a law degree from Columbia University. and he was born in Pittsburgh, but they moved to Northeast Washington, D.C. when he was a child. He graduated from DeMatha Catholic High School. He was senior class president. Now, DeMatha is a big-time Catholic high school. They have terrific sports programs there. He was, in his career, a briefing coordinator for Tipper Gore during the 2000 presidential campaign of Al Gore. In 2004, he joined the John Kerry presidential campaign. He was, quote, the body man for the vice presidential nominee, John Edwards. What does a body man do? The body man accompanies the candidate, takes care of all the, if you give him something, he takes care of it, and he protects him. Then he went on, graduated from Columbia University Law School. He was a law clerk for Judge Gerald Bruce Lee of the U.S. District Court of Eastern Virginia. Then he went to Wilmer Hale, which was a big deal, big law firm. He was a federal prosecutor in Alexandria, Virginia. And then he sought, in 2013, he ran for state attorney general. He lost, but he performed well in the primary. And then he was elected lieutenant governor. Now, there were some problems with him. We'll get to those in a bit. Back to the Daily Mail story about this. Fairfax County Police Chief Kevin David said his officer had responded to this home where both Justin Fairfax and his estranged wife live after Justin Fairfax alleged that his wife, Serena, assaulted him inside the home. Investigators determined that the alleged assault never occurred and no arrests were made. Again, this would be called a clue for trouble, right? It's a terrible, terrible situation. Fairfax, a former federal prosecutor and civil litigator, served as Virginia's lieutenant governor from 2018 to 2022 under then-Governor Ralph Northam. He was the state's second most powerful lawmaker during that period. He launched his own bid for governor in 2021, but finished fourth in the Democrat primary after his campaign was heavily overshadowed by sexual assault allegations from two women. Now, Fairfax denied the allegations, but said both encounters were, quote, entirely consensual, end quote. His wife stood by his side throughout that scandal. Police descended on the residence just after midnight. That is midnight Eastern time, Wednesday evening, Thursday morning. That would be, about 10 hours ago, 11 hours ago now. After the 16-year-old son, Cameron, called 911 to say that he thought his father stabbed his mother. When they arrived on the scene, they discovered his mother unconscious and bleeding inside the home. Police said she had been shot. The 16-year-old son said he did not know where his father was. Investigators later found Fairfax in a separate area of the home with what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Both victims were pronounced dead at the scene. A very tragic story. The circumstances, I'm going again with the Daily Mail story. This is a breaking story. The circumstances leading up to the deadly shooting remain under investigation. Police say there's no ongoing threat to the community. Quote, it is high profile in nature. It's tragic in nature. Certainly a fall from grace for a relatively high profile family that seemingly had a lot of things going in their favor, the chief of police said during a press briefing just a few hours ago. The couple had been married for 20 years, but were in the midst of what Davis called a seemingly complicated or messy divorce. Serena formally filed for divorce in July of last year. Let's get some of the details. Yeah, just more on this. Look, so this is okay. Here we go. Fairfax said he was a descendant of slaves, and that's where the name Fairfax came. Lord Fairfax, for whom Fairfax County was named. He was dragged into a scandal in 2019 after photos surfaced showing Governor Ralph Northam's school yearbook where he was posing in blackface in a KKK hood and robe. When we come back, I think we're going to have Phil Klein from Virginia, Liberty University professor of law. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy, back after this.
Ponder this. We intake oxygen every time we breathe, and breathing is how we stay alive. When God first created man, he breathed life into him. Our Lord also breathed spiritual life into his apostles and filled them with the Holy Spirit at the first Pentecost. Oxygen is a source of life both physically and spiritually. It's the same with fire. Oxygen is needed in order to keep a fire burning, which begs the question, are you on fire for the Lord, or has your spiritual oxygen been extinguished? To answer this, we must go to the source. The source of our spiritual oxygen is the Lord himself. Without him, there is no life within us. Those are his words, not mine. We are called to tap into this life source by baptism, daily prayer, and receiving the sacraments, especially Holy Communion if you are a Catholic, in the state of grace. If we tap into this life source every day, our lives will be filled with the love of the Lord, our spiritual oxygen. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
President Trump is already transforming Washington, D.C., making it the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful city in the world. But we need fighters on the ground to keep it going. I'm John Fredericks, and I'm running for chairman of D.C. GOP Ward 2 to make sure Trump's vision for this city becomes a reality. Safe streets, clean neighborhoods, and yes, rat-free. Go to MakeDCGreat.com. That's MakeDCGreat.com right now and send a donation. Let's finish what President Trump started. Donation limit $200. I'm John Fredericks, and I paid for this ad.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
We are joined on our newsmaker line by our very good friend for many years, a leading legal expert in the country, former Attorney General in the state of Kansas, professor of law at Liberty University, Phil Klein. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning.
Well, Judge James Boasberg, the chief judge in the Washington, D.C. Federal District, got slapped down yet again by the Court of Appeals, and they basically said he's abusing his discretion. Did you follow this, and what are your thoughts about this slapdown?
It's a serious rebuke of Judge Boasberg, and he deserved it. And quite frankly, he's deserved something like that for the past 4 years. This is the same judge who now says he signed these orders without really reading them, that said that members of Congress and myself were threats to witnesses and so forth, so therefore the subpoenas of Jack Smith should not be revealed to us, of our phone records. And so he signed these things just routinely. Judge Boasberg was also the judge who filed a frivolous and baseless ethics claim against one of the attorneys who worked for me during the Amistad Project in the 2020 election that contained falsehoods and also resulted in a quiet dismissal of the claim. So the Ethics Commission up there saw that it was false, but they don't have the courage to recognize that Judge Boasberg had filed it, and therefore they should say that it was false. They just quietly dismissed the ethics complaint of the then chief judge of the D.C. Circuit against our attorney. And now Judge Boasberg, according to the Court of Appeals, was on this broad investigative effort relating to the deportation flights that was invading executive privilege, that would require his intrusion into issues of national security, and there was no basis for it. Furthermore, the court said that his order and his investigation and justification were vague, ill-defined, unboundaried, and that he has to stop. They didn't tell him to stay his investigation, which is typical. They took the extraordinary position that he must stop it now. That is rare.
Well, I don't know. You're the professor of law. I'm just trying to, pass my civil procedure and constitutional law exams in night law school. But I thought that the role of a judge was actually to preside over a trial and make decisions that were consistent with the rule of law, and not to conduct investigations. What I miss here? Why is this guy doing investigations?
Well, he was claiming that there's the potential for citing Trump officials, and I think he was trying to get up to Trump himself for contempt of court. Boasberg's dream was to cite Trump for contempt and allowing these deportation flights. And the district and the appellate court said, wait a minute, did you go back to your original order? It's vague. And since you started your investigation, the government has complied and identified the official that was responsible for making the decisions. And now you just using the power of your office without jurisdiction to launch a broad investigation against the president. I mean, it's similar. It's not, of course, a parallel directly, but it's similar to what they tried to do when they ginned up the impeachment of Trump the second time with, the so-called mouthpiece who was saying that Trump tried to cut a deal with Ukraine to go after Biden. I mean, this stuff has got to stop. And the appellate court finally recognized it in Judge Boasberg. He deserves the critique and the slapdown.
Yeah, this is kind of weird because this, I think, relates to this odd order that he gave when the Trump administration was deporting a couple hundred Tren de Aragua illegal aliens to El Salvador. I think this was the case where they had the deportations already going. The planes were in the air, and Judge Boasberg, this would be March of 25. Judge Boasberg delivered a verbal statement in a special Saturday session that he called on Saturday because the lawyers representing Tren de Aragua, illegal aliens, wanted to get some action on it. And apparently he just gave a verbal order, turn those planes around. And because that order wasn't delivered and they didn't turn them around immediately, and the planes were apparently already out of U.S. airspace, that was the basis of it. Do you have that right? Is that what he got started on?
Yeah, and the appellate court said, look, the order was vague. You said nothing about transferring custody. And that's essentially what they were doing once they had left the United States already.
Mm-hmm.
So the administration, there was a vagueness to the order, and they pursued what their policy was. And what this essentially is you, without jurisdiction, going on a wide-ranging investigation to try to find somebody to pin a contempt charge on.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, isn't it? To find somebody to pin a contempt charge on. That's what Boasberg was trying to do. The chief judge of the Federal District Court in Washington, D.C. Phil, here's
Michael, when you go back and you look at how the Supreme Court treated, Boasberg and his colleagues' acceptance of using an accounting law, a law that prevents the destruction of accounting firm records in a fraud investigation of a major banking institution in the United States, was used to charge people who walked into the Capitol with felonies, and the Supreme Court rejected that. All of those charges the Supreme Court rejected under that law. The D.C. Circuit has had a bad run.
Well, yeah. Now, Senator Eric Schmitt, Republican from Missouri, a former Attorney General for the state of Missouri, a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, this is from The Hill this morning, is calling on House Republicans to impeach James Boasberg. I
think they have a basis to do it.
They do.
Yeah, you've got these subpoenas that he authorized of not just myself, but sitting members of Congress, in which he routinely signed an order saying that they are a threat of flight, destruction of evidence, intimidation of witnesses, without any factual findings supporting that order, so that the cell phone companies were ordered not to allow us to know that our records, including text messages, lengths of phone calls, on and on and on, were subpoenaed by the government. He has betrayed his oath, and I support that effort to impeach him.
So, Phil,
he should be removed.
Here's what the left wing of The Hill publication is saying about this. Quote, accusing Boasberg of judicial abuse, Senator Schmitt from Missouri, an outspoken proponent of the Trump administration's aggressive deportation policies, they got to throw that in there, right? Is urging House Republicans to impeach Boasberg, even though there's little chance any effort to remove him from the bench would get the 67 votes needed in the Senate. Again, throwing that in there. Look, I think, here's my view on this. The Senate is basically 53-47 Republican, and you need 2/3 vote to impeach somebody. It's a little different this time. If the House, to convict somebody who's been impeached by the House, my view on this is impeach him, bring him to trial, and get the Democrats on record for whether or not they approve of this abuse by a federal district court judge. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this stuff needs to be exposed.
Yeah.
And forgive me, my memory is a little bit off, but wasn't Boasberg the FISA judge?
Indeed, he was. Indeed, he was.
And what did they say? 250,000 abuses in a year on FISA warrants?
Yeah. All that
he authorized.
So I'm with you. Impeach him in the House, have the Senate trial, have that trial be a lengthy one, where all of this
has to come out.
Yeah, where all of this comes out, and force the Democrats to vote. I don't think it'll be 53-47. I think it would be, maybe 60-40, something like that. What do you think, Phil?
Well, I don't know about the votes there, but the disclosure of this has to happen.
Yeah,
a full understanding of how he has weaponized that circuit needs to happen.
Well, and
his abuse needs to stop.
Yeah, and Phil, it seems to me that when you say weaponizing the federal district court is pretty much when I look at it, it pretty much looks like the only thing that Obama-appointed judges or Biden-appointed judges are doing these days.
Well, I've proposed, and what I think we ought to do, Michael, is break up the D.C. circuit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's
either break them completely up or severely limit their jurisdiction.
That's an excellent solution because the Constitution allows the organization of courts to be determined by Congress. That's right. A very excellent idea. I endorse it. Phil Klein, our very good friend, professor of law at Liberty University, legal scholar, and great American. Phil, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more after this. Tom Pappert, more Muslim prayer in Metro Nashville Public Schools, blatantly unconstitutional, and yet, who is calling Metro Nashville Public Schools to account for that? Back after this.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Solti almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Solti. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Solti, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
Have you seen what's happening in Richmond?
They've gone nuts.
Spanberger was supposed to be a moderate.
But she's raising taxes, jacking up electric bills, siding with illegal immigrants.
And coming after our guns. You know, the Richmond liberals just outlawed the most popular common firearms.
That's not all. They're stealing our seats in Congress. They've drawn new districts. 10 seats rigged for the liberals and only 1 for us.
10 seats for liberals?
Wow, even you could count to 10. 10 seats rigged for liberals.
Yeah, and I know what they would do, too. Higher taxes, more illegal immigrants.
And gun bans. You'd better vote no to defeat the referendum.
Okay, how do I do that?
Well, you can vote early and vote no right now. Voting is open until April 21st.
And I'm supposed to vote no.
Vote no to stop the radical liberal takeover of our seats in Congress.
Okay, let's vote no.
Vote no by April 21st.
All I have to do is vote no.
Surely you could get that right. Paid for by Virginians for Fair Maps RC.
How much did you win at Rosie's Gaming Emporium?
Hi, I'm Jerry from Richmond. I won a $23,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
I'm Tammy. I'm from Newport News, and I just won a $5,400 jackpot from Rosie's.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm from West Virginia, and I won $99,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
Are you ready? Learn more about Rosie's rewards and jackpots at rosiesgaming.com. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling? Call 1-888-532-3500.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
We're called the volunteer state for a reason. Tennesseans show up for their neighbors, their communities, their kids. So when President Trump heard the calls of parents,
we're fighting for school choice, the civil rights statement of the decade.
Tennessee responded.
Governor Lee has signed education freedom scholarships,
empowering parents to use their own tax dollars to pay for a school that best fits their child's needs. Today, education freedom scholarships are serving 20,000 students, but thousands more are still locked out. Governor Lee is pushing to open education freedom scholarships to all Tennessee families, putting every parent in the driver's seat of their children's education. But we must put an end to the wait, because in the volunteer state, we don't leave anyone on the sidelines. The time to open doors for Tennessee families is here and now. It's time to empower every kid. Yes, every kid. Paid for by Yes Every Kid.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
We are joined on our Zoom newsmaker line right now by the Dow Prize Award winner for Best Local Journalism in the country, awarded by the National Journalism Center, part of Young America's Foundation, an award that he won in 2025 for breaking the story about Kilmar Abrego Garcia's November 2022 traffic stop here in Tennessee. Won that award, Tom Pappert did, along with yours truly and our executive editor, Christina Botteri. Tom, another breaking local story about, just Muslim prayer in Nashville Public Schools. The headline, Nashville Public Charter School confirms modified bell schedule for Muslim prayer after Tennessee Attorney General Skermetti warns public schools should not be dedicating resources to worship. Tell us this story, Tom Pappert.
Michael, this is the second school now to report to have such incidents reported. Of course, John Overton High School, a standard public high school, last week made the news. Well, this week it is a public charter school. That means it's taxpayer funded, held to all the same standards as a regular high school, but it is operated by a private company. It is Valor Collegiate Prep. And the report came through Pamphleteer, the Nashville Pamphleteer, which reported, shockingly, that the administrator at the school principal, confirmed to the outlet that they modified their bell schedule specifically for Muslim students. Quote, "It is built into our daily bell schedule and occurs at the end of one class period, signaling when students may report for prayer. After the bell rings, students who need to pray," unquote, "are permitted to," quote, "report to the gym and pray." And this goes on all year long, where with John Overton High School, it at least was isolated to Ramadan, the Muslim holy month. At Valor Collegiate Prep, which is part of a 3-school system within Metro Nashville, grades 5 through 12, within Collegiate Prep, Valor Collegiate Prep, this happens all year long. Muslim students are afforded a special bell and a special time to pray.
A special accommodation that disrupts the normal operation of the school. That would seem to me to be absolutely blatantly unconstitutional. Do they provide a similar prayer opportunity for Christians at this Nashville Public Charter School?
Well, we don't know yet. We're reaching out to the school, of course, to learn more about this. I want to know also if this happens at all 3 of their campuses in Metro Nashville, and specifically how this came to be. Was this a student idea? Was this an administrator idea? Where do these prayers take place? They seem to say in their auditorium. Do kids simply sit down in the auditorium and pray, or are there rugs? Are there other instruments there for these students. I think there's a lot of questions still to be answered, but we do know, Michael, that a lawsuit over this very subject about a decade ago, where a school in California had modified its bell schedule specifically so Muslim students could pray, well, that school very swiftly changed their bell schedule back after a lawsuit was brought against it. So I would not be surprised to find out that this is a red line that should not be crossed.
Well, yeah, and in that case, it wasn't fully litigated because the school system in, I think it was San Diego, California, recognized that their actions of modifying the bell system to accommodate Muslim prayer during a 15-minute period of time, that it was indeed disruptive and unconstitutional, so they settled. But now here's what's interesting. Do we know during this special 15 minutes of dedicated Muslim prayer at the Metro Nashville Charter School, Valor Academy, what do the other kids do during that 15 minutes?
Well, it's a great question, Michael. It appears that they remain in a class period. If you read between the lines from what the school principal, a former Chicago Public Schools administrator, by the way, if you read between the lines of his statement to the pamphleteer, it seems as though, Michael, they sit in class for an additional 10 minutes, and then perhaps the entire school has a lunch period together. But it seems as though class continues, perhaps education is disrupted. I certainly hope there's no group assignments right before the prayer bell rings.
So let's couple this with a couple other things, too. Let's couple with a pattern of behavior and conduct by Metro Nashville Public Schools, which seems to be to promote Islam over other religions. That's what it looks like to me. Your thoughts, Tom Pappert?
Well, it does seem to be that way. And I think part of it is perhaps because the average secular public school educator, charter school educator, maybe they don't understand what they're doing because they don't themselves practice a religion. But they have essentially, while Christianity has taken a back seat in American education since the 1960s, turned it into a pro-Muslim environment where you have, as we saw at John Overton High School, special events for Muslim students, special classrooms for Muslim students, special accommodations with the classroom lighting for Muslim students. Meanwhile, Christian students, if they are even there, are apparently completely silent and not afforded any of these things. I think that there is an appearance here, if not a factual existence, of an open preference for students that are Muslim. And I think a lot of it is tied up in this Metro Nashville far left. We want to protect, we want to welcome, we want to bring people in and be good liberals. And in reality, they're, in my opinion, they're violating the Constitution.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And now, interestingly enough, we looked into the board members at Valor Collegiate Academies. Rasco Dean is on the board. To tell us who Rasco Dean is and why this is interesting.
Well, Rasco Dean, longtime viewers, astute observers may remember that name. He is an attorney. He works at Sherrard Rowe, Boynton Harbison. He happens to be the son of former Nashville Mayor Carl Dean, as well as Ann Davis, who is the head or the board chairwoman, I believe, of Nashville Electric Service. Of course, they've been in the news, but perhaps even you may recognize the name to our viewers and listeners at home because he is one of the many lawyers, one of the legion of lawyers who is representing Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Specifically, he represents Kilmar in his federal human smuggling case out of Nashville, Tennessee.
Also, an attorney by the name of Samar Ali, who'd been kind of had a high profile. Her father's very much involved in a number of pro-Muslim activities, and she's been controversial for that reason. She's on the board. The chairman of the board is a professor at Lipscomb University by the name of Brandy Kellett. She's got quite a background, doesn't she, academically?
Yes, indeed. It's actually fascinating how this charter school has managed to find so many I suppose, usual suspects in Metro Nashville. On her Lipscomb University biography, she, of course, has a serious academic career: Wake Forest University, University of Miami, Coral Gables. More recently, though, she is in her 13th year at Lipscomb University, where she teaches English and modern languages. She also teaches the Life program and works with various nonprofits. Again, it's fascinating how they find everybody in Nashville that you would expect. Lipscomb University, of course, is fresh off its own controversy, where its own private Christian school denied Charlie Kirk supporters the ability to wear a red tie and a sports coat last year.
Brandy Kellett, Dr. Brandy Kellett's area of scholarship, according to Lipscomb, focuses on, quote, culture, memory, and faith as resistance to oppression in the African diaspora across the Americas. And she focuses on pursuits of equity and justice, embracing cultural diversity in communities of faith, and extending educational access. So that seems to me, well, first, the modifying the schedule so that the bell system allows for Muslim prayer is, I think, another example of blatant unconstitutionality. Also, we'll get to the Overton school situation in our next segment, but didn't they bring in a special advisor to bring in the Muslim activist Colin Kaepernick to Antioch High School a little bit ago?
Well, yes, they did. That was a local, musician, a rapper who happens to be Muslim. That is the individual. Again, to our longtime listeners, regular listeners, you'll remember just a couple months ago, Colin Kaepernick appeared out of nowhere. He materialized. He's been irrelevant for most of the last decade, but the former football player who used to kneel on the field appeared suddenly in the city of Nashville and started going to various high schools, and nobody could figure out what was going on. They were just seeing the posts appear on social media. Well, he was selling an AI product called Lumi, and apparently the individual who brought him there, by the way, it seems Metro Nashville purchased this, if memory serves. The individual who brought them there happens to be a Muslim activist and musician.
Yeah, no surprise there. And I guess there's this Muslim Advisory Council here in Nashville that has been aggressively promoting Islam to the director of schools, Adrian Battles. Tom, when we come back, I want to ask you a very important question. We've been trying to get a comment from Metro Nashville Public Schools about the Overton situation. And when we come back, you'll tell me what we've heard back from Metro Nashville Public Schools. Back with Tom Pappert. After this, I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
What happens in Virginia doesn't stay in Virginia. It influences policy and policymakers nationwide. The VirginiaStar.com shines a light on the issues in VA that become issues for the USA, with insightful commentary that gets to the fact of the matter. TheVirginiaStar.com is your source of wisdom and truth, locally, statewide, and nationally. Log on today and every day. TheVirginiaStar.com. TheVirginiaStar.com.
When you're learning something new, experience matters. At Lifestyles Unlimited, we've spent over 30 years teaching people how real estate investing works and how to build income with a clear, step-by-step strategy. Our program is designed to help you learn what to do, why it works, and how to take action at your own pace. Join today for just $297, a 60% savings off the regular price. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Hey folks, Al Green here for Sat Phone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need Sat Phone. Sat phones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your Sat phone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are a $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Surety and security with your Sat phone. Call now.
My fellow Americans, I was this close, very close, to buying from the lumber yards. These are sick people. But I turned my head at the last second, and I saw a big, beautiful ad for D.T. McCall's. These are highly respected people. If I had not turned my head at the last second, I would have been ripped off at some lumber yard for $200 in hidden charges, and D.T. McCall & Sons are never going to do that. They'd never do that to you. These are great people. I've known them for a long time. They have great deals, and I just have to say, nobody knows deals like I do. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. These are tremendous people. D.T. McCall & Sons. Check out one of their stores today.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Our guest, Tom Pappert, Dow Prize Award winner. Tom, so last week, the left-wing, quote, nonprofit, nonpartisan Nashville Banner wrote a glowing story about, how can we say otherwise, the Metro Nashville Public Schools Islamification of Overton High School. Then on Tuesday, here in studio, I asked Attorney General for the state of Tennessee, Jonathan Skrmetti, if the Metro Nashville Public School decision to allow Muslim prayers during school hours in a dedicated room led by a Metro Nashville Public School employee at Metro Nashville Public Schools Overton High School coerces non-Muslim students and violates the Religious Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. Now, he answered quite clearly that public resources should not be used to promote one religion over the other. We've gone then and asked Metro Nashville Public Schools a series of questions about this. Tell us, the key questions you've asked and tell us what kind of response you received from Metro Nashville Public Schools. And Adrian Battles, the director of Metro Nashville Public Schools.
Well, in all fairness, Michael, I asked a lot of questions. There were 15 of them. Maybe I intimidated them or scared them. I assume these people are academics. They all have college educations. They know how to read the English language. Perhaps I was being too kind because we wanted to know basic things. And it's now been several days since we contacted them last, but we wanted to know who came up with this idea. What was the level of student involvement versus faculty involvement? We know, for example, that there were 2 forms that were created by faculty members. Were these forms maintained by faculty members? Who came up with the Ramadan iftar dinner in the school cafeteria idea? Was that the Student Government Association, which has faculty oversight? Was that the Muslim Student Association? And the questions went on. You, of course, will not be surprised to hear that we have yet to hear a response from Metro Nashville Public Schools, even after now this second story where the charter school has reported or has had this Muslim bell schedule. They've reportedly been referring all media to the charter school itself rather than answering questions.
Okay, so they're not answering our questions. Now, so we're going to have to do again, like we did with Metro Nashville government in the Covenant case. We're going to have to file a Tennessee Public Records request on this, and they will ignore it. We'll probably have to sue them again, and it will go on for a long time. Tom, it seems to me that this suggests that this is not an accident. It's not a one-off. This suggests to me that Metro Nashville Public Schools leadership is overtly promoting Islam in Metro Nashville Public Schools.
I don't know how else you could interpret it. And again, the question becomes the motivation. And I think a lot of it goes back to this. It was called during the 2024 campaign by very intelligent people, suicidal altruism, where you are so in love with the idea of helping other people and welcoming foreign communities and religions that you are willing to, say, potentially break the law and jeopardize all of your school's federal funding, as well as whatever the cost of a lawsuit could be. I don't know if these administrators and faculty members even understand the implications of what they're doing, or how they themselves would respond if it were Christians who had schools giving them accommodations with faculty involvement, faculty-led, potentially student prayer for Holy Week. Would not go over well in the Metro Nashville Public Schools Administrator Building, I don't think. But for some reason, when you make it about Islam and it has the politically correct woke air over it, then they're all excited about it.
Yeah, I think, here's what I think. I think Metro Nashville Public School officials and the board think they're above the law. And if they want to promote Islam, they're going to do it. I think that's what's going on here, Tom. Am I being too dramatic in my analysis of this?
Well, you may be onto something, Michael, because I will say that virtually every other government agency in the state of Tennessee, be it at the state level, I mean, we've gotten responses from the governor's office before, Michael. We've gotten responses from Shelby County government. The only entity within the volunteer state that I think has never had a single word, good or bad, to say to me is Metro Nashville Public Schools. So there is a certain air of superiority about them.
Yeah, well, that air may be coming to a close. Tom Pappert, thanks so much for your help. Really appreciate it. Great reporting.
Always a pleasure. When
we come back, Aaron Gulbinson will join us, if all goes well, with the latest on the final week or final days of this session of the Tennessee General Assembly. Back after this.
Wendy Bell doesn't suffer fools.
You know, I don't like to give morons like Larry O'Donnell oxygen.
We leave no man behind. That is, of course, the old school version when only men flew American military planes.
That could have been a woman.
Dribble. You're going to take umbrage with the vernacular? You ignorant dolt!
Wendy Bell, weeknights at 6 on the John Fredericks Media Network.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks.
WENO Nashville, KQPN West Memphis. News Talk AM 760, AM 730, The Flame.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The U.S. is warning Iran that combat operations will resume if there's no new peace deal.
Even as the U.S. engages in discussions with Iran about further peace talks, the Pentagon says the military is poised to resume its attacks. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says if Iran chooses poorly, then they will have a blockade and bombs dropping on infrastructure, power, and energy. At the same briefing, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane said U.S. forces were ready to resume major combat operations at literally a moment's notice. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Negotiating with Iran's hardline regime has been slow going at times, but former Republican Senator Jim Talent believes the U.S. has the upper hand.
We've destroyed their inventories. We've destroyed the industrial base that produced the inventories. We're strangling the economy now. I think the next set of negotiations, we are essentially going to be dictating terms.
Senator Talent is now a senior fellow at the Reagan Institute Center for Peace Through Strength. He was interviewed by the Salem Radio Network. Investors shaking off any nagging doubts about the tenuous ceasefire today on Wall Street. The Dow is up by 103 points. The Nasdaq up by 114 at this hour. A decision to adjust prices seems to be paying dividends at PepsiCo.
PepsiCo's price cuts and some new products improved demand for its snacks in the first quarter. Revenue jumped 8.5% compared to the same period a year ago, handily beating Wall Street's forecast. Net income rose 27%. PepsiCo has been cutting prices on Lay's, Doritos, Cheetos, and Tostitos chips this year to win back customers exasperated by years of price hikes. New products with no artificial ingredients and snacks with enhanced ingredients are also attracting shoppers. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
More of these stories at townhall.com.
I talked to a lot of great companies. Very few of them actually literally surprised me, but Fellowship Home Loans sure did. For over 20 years, Mike and Brian and the team there have been helping families do something most people think is more complicated than it has to be. Get into a home, lower their rate, or tap into equity they didn't even realize they had. Everything at Fellowship is done in-house. One roof, one great team, all with a servant-led mentality. From your first phone call to closing, you're going to get people who know you by name. They'll know your situation. They treat you like family. They're also offering a free mortgage checkup right now. Don't miss out. Rates are lower now than if you purchased or refinanced your home in the last few years. Many Fellowship customers are saving hundreds of dollars a month when refinancing, and there are no payments for 2 months. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Here's Rich Thomason now with the Midday Wall Street Business Report.
60 years after it invented sports drinks, Gatorade is making a surprising pivot. It's no longer focusing primarily on athletes. Gatorade's parent company says the brand wants to broaden its reach to non-athletes looking for ways to hydrate. The head of the International Energy Agency warns that Europe has about 6 weeks of jet fuel left. The IEA chief worries about possible flight cancellations if oil supplies remain blocked by the Iran war. Taiwan's chip maker TSMC reports a 58% jump in profits for the January through March quarter, thanks to strong demand, driven by the artificial intelligence boom, even as the Iran war was driving up prices. China's economy accelerated for the first quarter of this year, expanding 5% from a year ago. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
You'll find breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. German rescuers hope air cushions can help them save Timmy, the stranded whale.
The whale, nicknamed Timmy, has barely moved for days, raising fears that it may soon die. Timmy's plight has received a lot of attention through live streams and protests. German state authorities have approved a private plan to lift the whale onto a tarp using air cushions, secure it to pontoons, and attach it to a tugboat. The plan of Thursday's operation is to transport the whale back to the North Sea and possibly the Atlantic Ocean. Previous rescue efforts temporarily freed Timmy, but it became stranded again. I'm Karen Shamas.
Some experts say Timmy may have lost his way while swimming after a shoal of herring or during migration. He was first spotted swimming in the region back on March 3rd. You'll find more on these stories at Town.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, executive director of the Tennessee Conservative Coalition, the one, the only, Aaron Golbinson. Welcome, Aaron.
How are you, sir?
It is a bittersweet moment.
A little bit.
A bittersweet moment.
For you and for me, I think. I think for some others, probably a joyous one, but you know.
What are we talking about here? Well, Aaron is about to leave the great state of Tennessee.
Yep.
For an exciting opportunity, and wait for it, Washington, D.C.
Yep.
Now, we will hear more details about that exciting opportunity when we do Zoom or phone interviews with
yes.
you. But for now, this is not your penultimate appearance in studio for 2025. This is your ultimate appearance.
In studio, yes,
in
sir.
In studio.
Maybe you'll interview me in other capacities at some point in time. But yes.
That's what we call a tease, folks.
That's a little bit of a tease. But yes, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of fun the last 4 years. What's fun about these kinds of things, and here's where I'm going to be a little mischievous, is I was having a conversation yesterday with someone who decidedly does not like me, and they were telling me how irrelevant I was, and I was like, well, you're talking to me right now. And so but yes, there's a lot of big things coming down the pike for me. There's actually a lot of big things going on with the Tennessee Conservatives Coalition as well.
Who will, although, you know, you are, of course, irreplaceable.
Yes.
Who will replace you in the Tennessee Conservative Coalition? Drum roll, please.
My handpicked successor is Brian Floyd,
Our
and
good man.
He will be starting in that capacity very over the next few weeks. Probably
he'll be here next week.
He'll be here now for here.
Yeah.
He will take over this time slot, and as I've told people, he's a little nicer than I am. He does have an edge to him.
Let's be honest. That is a very low bar.
Yes.
Am I right?
It is a low bar. Actually, no. If you talk to certain people, I'm the nicest person in the world. It's just I operate under very certain principles in politics, which is value loyalty above all else. Be kind to your friends and supportive of them, and be merciless to your enemies. It's very simple.
That's it. It's hardcore,
So,
you know, classic politics.
And also the other thing, just be as advertised. Don't do side deals and things like that. It always annoys me. But yeah, we've had a lot of fun on this show. We've had a lot of, I'd say, epic moments on this show, both with you and then at times when I've guest hosted that I am often reminded of by certain people. But yeah, the other aside of a component I will tease is there will be a bit of a DC presence for the Conservatives Coalition under that brand up there, which Brian will also wind up. I will be helping set things up while I'm about to do the other thing I'm doing, and so there will be a lot of things going on. So big expansion. Another thing that happened recently is the Williamson County Conservatives PAC was folded into the Tennessee Conservatives Coalition as the Williamson County chapter. So the PAC is no more. It's part of the C4. It is a 501c4. But I do think it's worth maybe reflecting a little bit for, if you remember, probably the big legislative kickoff for what was then known as the Tennessee Faith and Freedom Coalition and became the Tennessee Conservatives Coalition was the special session back in 2023.
A great success.
Which started off as the gun control session, and obviously working with the governor and his team, that they backed off of that sincerely, and it became there were three other things passed, but it became the kickoff of what became 4 years of massive movement in the effort to destroy child and human trafficking in the great state of Tennessee. And the heroes of the legislation that was passed, I mean, you have child rape death penalty option, Jack Johnson, William Lamberth, Ken Yeager. You have, that very first bill that we did with the governor's team and Jack Johnson and William Lamberth, tracking the incidences of what happens in the state on that. And there hadn't been, and we had to fight the bureaucrats on that, but there hadn't been even reporting on that in a centralized spot for over a decade in the state. You've got, Brent Taylor with the DA Second Opinion Act, which the Trump administration is working with Brent Taylor, state senator from Memphis area, who, by the way, would make one heck of a congressman if that ever came to pass. But
can I tell you this? Memphis needs him.
Yeah.
In the state Senate.
Yes.
He can have more impact.
Oh, absolutely.
As a state senator.
This is very, very true. But it's great because seriously, that DA Second Opinion Act several years ago when we did it, basically, if one DA is refusing to prosecute certain levels of crimes, including child and human trafficking and other kinds of crimes, organized crime, the neighboring DA can do it. And when you have a corrupt Soros-run elected system in a place like Memphis or Nashville, it's very important. Those are just a couple things that were done. But throughout the last 4 years, we're talking 30 to 40 anti-human trafficking bills, working together with groups like the governor's office and Senator Blackburn's team and the House leadership, the Senate leadership to get school choice passed. There are so many things that have gone on, and it's been a lot of fun and a lot of moving the ball in the right direction for the great state of Tennessee.
Indeed, and the ball is moving in the right direction for the great state of Tennessee. When we come back, Aaron, we're going to talk about some of those accomplishments. And now the General Assembly probably will, this session will end sometime next week, maybe by this time next week.
Yeah, I would say so. That's what it's tracking.
And I'm hearing the buzz. There's a lot of, final last minute back and forth going on. And some bills are moving forward, some bills not so much.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the specifics of that when we get back. I want to change gears just for a moment. We have a breaking story.
What we got?
Donald Trump has announced a 10-day ceasefire in Lebanon.
Another foreign policy win for the president.
That will be in effect at 5 p.m. Eastern time today. So we got that. I don't know if the other news, just because you're from Virginia, did you see this other Virginia
news? I saw that sad, sick story, yes.
Justin Fairfax, the former lieutenant governor.
Under Ralph Northam, Democrat, yes.
Who, was considered by many a rising star in the Democrat Party. He had some allegations of sexual improprieties that he denied, and his wife at the time stood by him. But the heartbreaking news came early this morning that Justin Fairfax killed his estranged wife and then committed suicide early this morning. And the report came from their 16-year-old son. That is brutal stuff. That's so sad. Terrible news. But Justin Fairfax, I think he had a bright shining star, but when the allegations of sexual improprieties came about, his response was they were consensual. His wife stood by him during all this. But I don't think his political star had faded, it seemed to me, before this. Your thoughts?
I mean, obviously he came in fourth place in that primary in, what was it, 21 at
21,
this point?
yeah.
So, but yeah, it's sad. And honestly, I think about the 16-year-old child more than anything.
And the 14-year-old daughter. Yeah. We'll be back with more. Aaron Goblinson will give us all the details of the rough and tumble final week of the Tennessee General Assembly. Who will make it past the finish line? Who will, be thrown out trying to steal home from third? Back after this.
Hi, folks. John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just 1 scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, Tireget.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. A bittersweet day. The official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, Aaron Gulbranson.
Do you have a, and I'm putting you on the spot, do you have a bombastic moment for me since we're sitting here that was on the air, mind you, that strikes your brain as being particularly either amusing or you got the most phone calls about? I don't know. I'm putting you on the spot, but
here's the thing. I will answer that question honestly. There are so many bombastic moments that it's hard to isolate one as the premier bombastic moment. Now, let's get right to the case of, I love the Tennessee General Assembly as for the way it operates. Now, people might say, oh, they don't know what they're doing, or they're doing this or that. It's political. This is the way it's supposed to be in a state legislative body. The other reason I love it is because we're able to talk to all of them. They all talk to us. Even occasionally a Democrat will talk to us. But
the smarter ones,
the Republican leadership talks to us all the time. We know what they're trying to accomplish.
Yep.
But you got the different jostling between the two houses, the traditional conflict between the lower house and the upper house, and then the inside baseball, the fighting, the power. It's fascinating, and the good news is it's part-time.
Yep.
And it ends momentarily. It's going to end within a week or so.
Could you imagine if this was a full-time legislature? Oh my! First of all, most of the body wouldn't be there because they wouldn't want to do this full-time.
Yeah.
But it's and occasionally you see with some of these fringe groups out there, it's like when they're like, how come they don't pass this? You're like, you want them to be there full-time. No, you do not.
No.
That is how you wind up with, well, let's just face it. If we could cut Congress down to part-time, we probably wouldn't be spending as much money as we do.
Well, not only that, if you look at failed states like New York and California, every failed state has a full-time state legislature. Yeah. So, having said that, what's happening? Who's going to make it all the way?
Oh,
who's going to be thrown out trying to steal home?
I mean, we're in the end game now.
Yeah,
the finance committees have met. All the principals there. It looks like my understanding, and I haven't gotten into the specifics on it, is a number of the government supplemental budget items got cut.
Now it's coming down to the budget
season, and I think Bo Watson, state senator and chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, took a scythe to a bunch of things. But But they got it done, and now they're going to start voting on the budget. They're moving towards the end of stuff. Obviously, there's the school choice stuff. The House voted on the expansion.
The House voted to increase it from 20 to 35. The Senate's at 40. Yeah. Where's that going to end up?
Well, no, it's got to go to conference, and they're going to see what money they find in the budget. And obviously, it got through committee and the floor.
It'll be a budget thing, right?
I think my crystal ball tells me the Senate probably gets their way, but we will see. Now, obviously, there's been a bit of an interesting row that's been going on, and this is what happens every single year. The Senate wants what it wants, the House wants what it wants. Some committee chairman blocks some bill from that the House wanted, and then the House goes and calls out the committee chairman. Of course, over the last week, it's been State Senator Todd Gardenhire having a little bit of a war of words with Speaker Cameron Sexton.
Again. The personalities are fascinating. We've known Senator Gardenhire for a long time.
Yeah.
And we've had a few.
I think he got elected when Lincoln was president.
Pretty much. And he's a good guy, but he's also, he gets a little excitable at times. And
hey,
we've had a few dust-ups with him.
Aaron is going to give you one of his secret tools of the trade when it comes to lobbying the Judiciary Committee. The chairman's going to do what the chairman's going to do.
Yeah.
I have never lobbied Todd Gardenhire for anything. I've never said, hey, vote this way, because he's going to vote for it or
he's going to do what he wants to do.
So, and if you push him a little too hard, you're going to wind up in the press. So, I mean, and there are times when you want to be in the press. There's times it's like, there's no need to argue. But, Yeah, I mean, this is the entertainment side at the end because, the personalities flare. There was and I don't know the context other than I could speculate that's slightly performative, but, the Speaker Sexton and Speaker McNally, who's on his way out, had a meeting in the House chamber, I think it was the House chamber, and they made sure the press knew, so it was like a, kumbaya thing. By the way, I will say one of my favorite funny moments, and there were so many people ticked off about it, but during the special session, when outgoing House Caucus Chairman Jeremy Faison put a Fabergé egg on in the Senate chamber.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that.
It's one of those things at the time. It was one of those things at the time you go, that was really ill-advised, but you can now look back and kind of laugh at it.
Yeah, I was surprised that he's retiring, but it's a lot of time and energy.
That's the thing. A lot of these guys, you're like, oh, you can stay there forever, but Jeremy Faison wants to go home with his family and actually, go do something else, and that's pretty cool.
Well, if you think about it for a moment, this is again...
And Kenny Cody, by the way, is the one that I favor who's running for the seat out there.
The other thing, this is another reason why I love the part-time legislature, right? Because it is more difficult because it doesn't pay that much and it's a big time sink. You're really doing it as a public service, really. And so... I think it's a good thing that people will serve for a period of time.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Faison achieved a certain level of power, but now he's walking away from it.
Yeah.
I think. Look, it's other people should have an opportunity to represent the people in their district over time, I think.
By the way, you know what the scariest thing is right now that certain people that we've made this announcement on the radio is I can walk the halls right now and really say what I really think for the next several days. But no, it's okay. I'm known for that anyway. But it's just kind of why, and then there'll be some bills that everybody likes that there wasn't money for. So that's what happens.
I think that's it.
Because and again, that is the difference between this part-time legislature and the full-time.
Right.
Part-time legislature goes, we're running out of time. There's no money for this. The full-time legislature goes, there's never time running out and there's never money running out. So we're going to borrow.
That's actually very significant analysis in terms of the way states are run.
Yeah.
Or not run.
Yeah. And of course, you look at the federal spending boondoggle we've had for generations now. But no, this is fun, but it is very much like because I've known about what I was going to do for a couple months now, but it's kind of like
you kept it from us.
Yes, and it's
kept it from us.
It's kind of walking through the last last few days of high school around the halls, and we're also in
no.
high school.
On our show, this is graduate school.
Yeah, well, on your show, I'm talking about walking around Cordell Hall, but no, it's been fun. I am getting a little sentimental, but I do want to say, since I have a microphone in front of me, you've always been a really good friend and a good colleague, and I appreciate the opportunity to have been on this show, and then all the connections that were made working as a reporter for the Star.
And by the way, just so now, all this political powerhouse that Aaron Gulbertson has become, let's be honest, it started when you were reporting with the Tennessee Star.
This is
why?
Very true.
Well, because you are a very good reporter, and we have a point of view.
Yeah.
And back to what the Tennessee Star does, there's no other conservative news outlet in the state.
Yep.
I mean, there's a blog or two that's but there's nobody that's a conservative news outlet. Every other news outlet in the red state of Tennessee is left or far left.
This is.
The television stations, they're all owned by out-of-staters.
You've got a couple wannabes that started up blogs in their basement that say they're conservatives and they're not. But the Tennessee Star is the only true conservative news source in the state. You and Christina and your whole team do a really good job. And you're very and of course the Kilmar Abrego stuff. the coverage of the Covenant shooting stuff. I'm just thinking of the highlights here.
Oh, and now the latest.
All the fun coverage I got to do of TN5 and 22.
Yeah, that was fun. And, of course, the classic Morgan Ortega's
Everyone references that. That woman didn't know a single highway.
The latest, of course, which you've seen is, in essence, Metro Nashville Public Schools apparently are promoting Islam. And Overton High School, where they're doing all sorts of things that are not constitutional.
Has Congressman Ogles been alerted?
He has, and there may be some news to be made there.
By the way, I have to say I enjoy my relationship with Congressman Ogles. I think he's a good congressman. I think he knows how to play the media game better than just about anybody else. I think he
does.
He's always so funny, and I don't mind talking slightly out of school. He always tells me he's just trying to keep a low profile, which is hilarious. But
he's got a sense for what's important.
He has the best chief of staff in the state,
our buddy Grant Henry.
Grant Henry's awesome. Of course, Grant Henry was once upon a time
the official guest host.
Yes, the official guest
host.
Grant
Henry was once the official guest
host,
until
he took that job.
He took that job, if you want to be a player politically in the state of Tennessee, come on, be an official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, right? We'll have more with Aaron Gulbison.
You're going to have a line around the block now.
When we get back.
EJ Host here, founder of the Digital Footprint Management Agency and the official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Let's get real for a minute. Today's customers aren't just searching on Google anymore, and if your business isn't keeping up with new technology, you're getting left behind. Customers are asking AI, they're scrolling socials, they're checking maps. Does your business show up everywhere your customers are searching? Go to getfoundeverywhere.com and get your business to show up across AI search tools, social platforms, maps, and more. Need smarter ads that actually convert? We've got it. Need a modern website built to rank and perform? Done. Want to show up in AI-driven search results your competitors don't even understand yet? We've got you covered. See how easy it is to grow your business, get more customers in the new search era. Go to getfoundeverywhere.com today.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at GlockStore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at GlockStore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
My fellow Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time, at DT McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. DT McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it, believe me. Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
We're called the volunteer state for a reason. Tennesseans show up for their neighbors, their communities, their kids. So when President Trump heard the calls of parents,
we're fighting for school choice, the civil rights statement of the decade.
Tennessee responded.
Governor Lee has signed education freedom scholarships,
empowering parents to use their own tax dollars to pay for a school that best fits their child's needs. Today, education freedom scholarships are serving 20,000 students, but thousands more are still locked out. Governor Lee is pushing to open education freedom scholarships to all Tennessee families, putting every parent in the driver's seat of their children's education. But we must put an end to the wait, because in the volunteer state, we don't leave anyone on the sidelines. The time to open doors for Tennessee families is here and now. It's time to empower every kid. Yes, every kid. Paid for by Yes Every Kid.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. Official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, Aaron Gulbinson. Soon to have a special assignment in Washington, D.C. Aaron.
I'm going to do the media buys for the Department of, no, I'm just kidding.
Department of X.
Yeah. No, so, I'm completely kidding on that front.
So, Aaron, let's talk about what's wrong with Pope Leo. There are many things wrong with him. He's decided to become a political attack machine against Donald Trump. But here's a bigger problem that I have with him right now. I'm a big fan of the constitutional doctrine of originalism.
Yes.
That is, Justice Scalia was a big proponent of that.
Right.
We interpret the Constitution based upon the original meaning of the text of the amendment or the Constitution itself as it was understood by the public at that time. And textualism is what exactly does the text say? Now, this is not exactly the same, but I'm also, in terms of my Christian faith, I think I would call myself a New Testament originalist. Mm-hmm. Now, it's a little harder there to be an originalist in the New Testament. Why? Well, because the Constitution was written in English in 87 rather. And the amendments are all written in English, and we understand it. The English versions of the New Testament really didn't come about until 1400, 1500, and the original language would have been Aramaic or Latin or Greek. So you lose a little bit in translation, but we do have the English translations now. So calling myself a New Testament originalist, Pope Leo is not a New Testament originalist. And let me give you the evidence of that. Here he is yesterday in Africa making up a Bible verse to attack Donald Trump. No, seriously, you got to listen. You got your earphones in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen to this.
Jesus told us, "Blessed are the peacemakers, but woe to those who manipulate religion in the very name of God for their own military, economic, or political gain, dragging that which is sacred into darkness and filth."
Okay, stop. That is not what Jesus said. I'm looking at the New Testament, right? Matthew chapter 5, verse 9. "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." That's what the New Testament says. What is the Pope doing here, Aaron Gulbinson?
Well, he's reinterpreting the text in a manner that Ketanji Jackson Brown does. So, he's not being an originalist, and he's a Cubs fan, isn't he?
White Sox.
White Sox. Well, the White Sox suck. So, just looking at a sport reference. No, it's silly. There was thoughts that he was not going to be the woke pope, but it just seems like that's the role of the Catholic Church in politics in this modern era, is to be is the leadership of the Catholic Church is just being woke, and they're attacking President Trump, which is ironic considering you have the most pro-life president in the history of the United States, Donald J. Trump. And all the other issues that, and Donald Trump has been good for people of faith in general. But ironically, it's very odd to see the Pope defending Islam, essentially, which he's done in other occasions as well.
Oh, listen to this. This is the latest terrible statement by the purportedly Catholic Pope. Here we go.
I know that in Europe there are many times fears that are present but oftentimes generated by people who are against immigration and trying to keep out people who may be from another country, another religion, another race. And in that sense, I would say that we all need to work together. One of the values of this trip is precisely to raise the world's attention to the possibility that dialogue and friendship between Muslims and Christians is possible. I think one of the great lessons that Lebanon can teach to the world is precisely showing a land where Islam, Christianity are both present.
Has he been to Lebanon ever? I mean, what did the Muslims have destroyed Lebanon?
I mean, Islam is the enemy of Christianity. I mean, that's 100% true. It's the enemy of Christianity and Judaism. So, I mean, it's also the enemy of the Western way of life. But I digress.
So, okay, let's look at this. This guy is a radical, pro-Islamist pope. How did that happen? How did that happen?
It seems like that's the institution at the moment, at the highest level.
At the highest level.
Yeah.
And now we've got the other issues. There are a lot of believing Catholics here now, practicing Catholics, who basically are telling the Pope to stay out of politics. Tom Homan, practicing Catholic, he said the other day, if the Pope had seen what I saw, he would be all in favor of borders and no migration.
Is that the next job for Tom Homan, Pope of the Catholic Church, after he's done being the immigration enforcement?
Look, this current Pope is politicizing the office in a way that is going to hurt Catholicism.
Yep.
Let's go to look at let's look at Europe right now. I've got this theory, which I think there's evidence to support, that a Western democracy will begin to fall as soon as the Muslim population exceeds 5%.
Yep.
Now, we're at 1.5% here in the United States of America. But as we can see, what's their plan is to use the freedom of the West to destroy the West.
Right.
They're here in Nashville. They're basically, promoting Islam through the Red-Green Alliance, if you will, Metro Nashville Public Schools, promoting Islam in public schools, not promoting Christianity. And so what we've got here is a situation where in Europe, Italy, 6% Muslim. You've got the United Kingdom, 6% Muslim. France, 10% Muslim. Germany, 8% Muslim. Sweden, 8%. Those countries have all started to collapse internally. Right? What is he doing? He wants more Muslim immigration. The possibility of peace when a Muslim population comes into a country just is not existent.
But it's been the agenda that they've had that Islam has had for thousands of years, which is to go bring your people into a country and take it over by either force or just growing your population. So, I mean, this is what we're seeing in Europe. This is what we're seeing in communities here in the United States, actually. And, you've got, it is an existential threat. It seems like we have a ton of existential threats to the Western civilization, but you can already see it. And look at London right now. Look at Germany. Look at France. Look at all these countries over there. And they went woke before everyone else did. And we're pushing back on wokeism here in the United States, but it's
in red states.
In red states, yes. We need to. The number one thing we can do is to make sure illegal immigrants are not counted in terms of the census.
Boom.
And then we can fix all our
and by the way,
problems.
the state legislature here has done a lot on that.
Listen, Cameron Sexton's doing a heck of a job working with Stephen Miller in the White House. Jack Johnson and William Lambert have done a heck of a job over the last decade or so working together, making sure that good legislation passes as well as their colleagues. But yeah, we've got some really good stuff going on.
So the Pope's from Chicago, where Saul Alinsky got his start. the community activist. And there is a connection between a Catholic organization called the Gamaliel Foundation and, in essence, left-wing activism. Barack Obama, his first job after he graduated from Columbia, he was a consultant and instructor for the Gamaliel Foundation. That is a, quote, Catholic community organization. He worked in Chicago there for 3 years, from 85 to 88. His mentor was Greg Galuzzo, who was a very far-left activist. And you've got this long tradition of far-left socialist Marxist Catholics using community organizing to, in essence, destroy the democratic system.
Yep.
And that's what. And by the way, did you see who went to visit the Pope?
No.
Last week? David Axelrod.
Of course. He's probably advising the Pope. He's probably one of the
I would think so.
advisors
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point.
And the other related part about this is, so David Axelrod visits the Pope, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, all of these aggressive anti-Trump statements are being made by the Pope, and then you have three cardinals going on to 60 Minutes. Right? Criticizing the Trump administration for the war in Iran. Now, I don't think this is an accident at all. I think, and then there's a report at CBS News, Barack Obama is looking to have a meeting with the Pope.
Of course. I think there's a concerted effort to get, to essentially make the United States effort to defeat Iran and their nuclear capabilities to look bad. And of course, this is all aimed at President Trump, who's executing this plan darn near perfectly. So, I mean, it's just silly that you've got these groups of people that are siding with Iran over the United States.
By the way, do you know who is giving the highest praise to the Pope for his statements criticizing Trump for the Iran war? The Islamist mullahs who killed 40,000 of their countrymen.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, really? Hello? Now, this presents a problem for American Catholics. You know, Catholicism has always had, of late, past 40, 50 years, there's been this split between the far-left campaign for, a Catholic campaign for human development, which is far-left, and then more traditional Catholics. Right now, traditional Catholics in America are looking at this and saying, where do I fit? Where do I fit? And because the hierarchy, the American Pope, is going far left, anti-American, pro-Islamist. Pro-Islamist.
It's a major problem.
It's a very significant problem.
It is a very significant problem. What do we got? 2 minutes left?
Now, there are some people who would say that, I talked to some Catholics who say, well, cut the Pope some slack. I don't think so.
No, this is life and death we're talking about here.
Exactly. When we come back, Aaron, guess what? Guess what time it's going to be?
News potpourri.
It will be your last news potpourri.
I may have some
while
parting
in studio.
I may have some parting thoughts. I don't know.
Would you like parting thoughts?
I would like some parting thoughts.
Okay, we'll start off with parting thoughts, and we might get, and maybe that'll take the entire. It'll be a special edition of News Potpourri. We'll start with parting thoughts from official guest host, soon to be former official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, Aaron Coleman.
Yes,
back
sir.
after this.
This is Tom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea, a supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Soul Tea, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Soul Tea has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Soul Tea for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Soul Tea and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Soul Tea, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Salty
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, Aaron Goldmanson, it's that time of day again. It's time for News Potpourri. I know you're going to miss that music. Yes, News Potpourri. This is the portion of the program we talk about those stories that are of note, don't necessarily merit a full segment, and may have a touch of irony. Well, we're going to do something special here. This is your last time in studio for News Potpourri, at least for now.
Yeah.
You have some parting thoughts for us.
I do. And, you know, in keeping with the theme of irony of this segment, you would think that Aaron might sit here and start, you know, throwing bombs on his way out the door, but I've decided not to. I'm a giant pro wrestling fan, as everyone knows who's ever listened to this show, and they sometimes get sick and tired of hearing it. But at the moment, I'm thinking of a famous promo, and if Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs is listening to this or hears it, he'll get a little chuckle out of it, by the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And part of the promo was, I have wined and dined with kings and queens, and I've slept in alleys and dined on pork and beans. And I have wined and dined with kings and queens in this state. And I want to talk about a couple people. And again, thank you for the opportunity you've given me with this platform and everything, Michael. But I don't want to talk about them as politicians. I just want to say that there are a number of people that are very important to me that are good human beings. And they're my favorite people. And they're people like Jack Johnson and William Lamberth and Brian Floyd and Ward Baker and Dylan Miller and Michael Hendricks and Brandon Smith and Chris Tudor and Jonathan Scrimetti. I'm not using their titles on purpose because this is personal to me. They're Jason Zachary, Glenn Jacobs. I'm going to forget people. Brian Clifford, Kimberly Calcote. Just so many, the fabulous Dawn White. Brent Taylor, Adam Lowe, Chris Todd, just so many wonderful, good people, Jeremy Faison. And then there's a number of people that have, Chase Engel, Beth Winstead, that just always made my life here so much better, so much more fun. not just political working relationships, but good friendships. Cigar buddies. I always enjoy going over with Mary Littleton, Rick Eldridge, and several others over to the Ariston. These are good people, and I'm leaving so many out because I didn't write any of this down. But it's Jake McCalman, I should not have forgotten, and Rochelle. Senator Blackburn, I will always, Governor Blackburn, I'm just going to use that title, is my right at the moment. But and I said a few names earlier, but these are people that are actually good, decent-hearted human beings, and they work not only to better the state, but they better the people around them, and they invest in the people around them. And they've invested in me, and they've invested in causes, and I don't mean money, I mean time and hours on the phone. And Hunter Schultz and Luke Gustafson and others, but they've enriched my life. So while I have a microphone in my hand, normally I get to take shots at people. So I just wanted to say thank you for everything that you've done for me in my life, and for allowing me to work around and kick a lot of rear end for the cause. And
kicking rear ends for
and
the
if
cause.
anybody ever wonders why I get so prickly and fight so hard,
prickly.
It's
Aaron Gomison prickly. I'm breaking.
It's
man bites dog.
Yes, it's because that I've seen the true good nature of people, and I'm very loyal to them. So I guess I'll finish this little message with back to what I said. And of course, I don't drink anymore, but truly I have wined and dined with kings and queens.
Well, there you go. Well, great, and that's a very eloquent sign off. Final thoughts. Speaking of
now we get back to cracking jokes, but
this is crazy. But I think somebody needs to have a conversation in Washington, D.C. with this federal judge. His name is Richard Leon. Now, after this judge stopped all of the construction on the ballroom, the White House ballroom. And they went up to the appeals court, and the appeals court said, no, you can't do that. So he has now blocked the Trump administration from, wait for it, doing construction work above ground on the ballroom. Below ground, they can do. Okay, this is not going to stand. It's going to go back to the appeals court, and they're going to slap this guy down.
Yeah.
It is beyond ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, Tom Tillis.
What has he done to offend us all today?
Well, now Tom Tillis is saying, until you end the investigation into all this overblown $1 billion plus construction project at the Federal Reserve, until you end that inquiry into where all that money went, I'm going to stop the nomination of Kevin Warsh to be the head of the Federal Reserve. And, by the way, Jerome Powell is threatening not to quit. Yeah. I think, threaten away, Jerome. But your term ends early in May, and if you go, you will not be allowed into the building after that, I think.
I have by the way, I did leave out, I shouldn't have, no one texted me, but I did leave out Chris Berger from that soliloquy. He's a very good friend as well. I do have one for you from the General Assembly and on the funny side of things. I walk into the building the other day with Brian Floyd. I've been showing him around, and one of the aides walks up to me and goes, "There's a bald eagle in the building." And apparently one of the groups that supplies bald eagles to Dollywood brought in a bald eagle, and everybody went and got taken pictures with a bald eagle.
And the bald eagle had other ideas.
And no, it was okay, although it was kind of amusing when one of the lobbyists was taking a picture and then the bald eagle defecated. I'm not going to name the lobbyist that but it was not surprising. It was kind of amusing. So,
and there you go. And on that note, that's the last news potpourri of the day. Aaron Gomison, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Good luck on your new adventures. Back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock Central Time. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. The website, TennesseeStar.com, TennesseeStar.com.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com. Listen to Michael Patrick Leahy and make America great again.
FlatFeeNashville.com is a full-service real estate brokerage that charges homeowners a upfront flat fee of $999 to completely list, market, and sell your home. We are all about saving consumers money, saving that equity. Nobody should hire an agent and feel like when that agent walks in the door, that agent is more concerned about the down payment on their next Mercedes purchase versus saving the equity that those homeowners have worked hard for. I've spent my entire career in ensuring that the equity that people save and they put into their monthly mortgage every single month, as much of that as we possibly can goes back to them when they go to list and sell that home. The idea is to give homeowners the ability to really create generational wealth.
FlatFeeNashville.com, FlatFeeNashville.com.